2018 Nissan Murano. This vehicle had the remote start option, and in this video I'd like to show you that feature in action. You have an OEM, the factory remote fob over here, and to activate it you're supposed to hit the lock button, then immediately after hold the remote start button down. So let's go ahead and do that. There you go. So the lights turn on. In case you don't hear the engine running, at least you have a visual indicator that the vehicle is running. And it happens in the front as well. I wish I had another camera. I would set it up here, then we would see what the lights look like, and maybe I'd make a video at night, but I'm trying to make the most of my day right now. I do, however, have a camera inside there, and it's going to show you what is happening inside. You might not be able to see all that, but as cold as it is, one, let's just explain this. There are a few basic features that happen. One, it turns on the car to get the coolant running and whatnot, right? And oil and all that stuff. But two, it turns on your HVAC system. So whether you've turned it to heating or cooling, it runs at a base level, just runs the fan inside the vehicle. The other thing is that this vehicle has heated and cooled seats. So depending on whether your seats are turned on to heat or to cool, it just turns the seat, turns that feature on, turns the circuit to your seats on. So in this case, again, as you can see, the heated seat is, I believe it's all the way to max. So that's going to start heating your seat as well. The other thing is that along with the HVAC system, it also turns on the defroster, because right now I believe air is pushing out through those front vents, and the rear glass defroster is also turned on. Now this vehicle right here has heated side mirrors as well, as you can see by that line over there. You see the defroster lines? Yeah, and you can almost see this. The snow is melting off the sides. So yeah, this is heated as well, and it gives you a head start. It starts melting things wherever they can be. Right now we don't really have too much going on, but again, as I said, yeah, you can't really tell. Obviously, just started the vehicle, it's not warm enough, but usually that defroster vent over there is also pushing out air, and then the one that warms the side glass as well. So in a bit, I'll be getting inside the car, and when I do get in, I'd like you to see what happens once I start the car with the feature turned on, okay? So give it just a little bit of time, and let's unlock the vehicle. I believe right now it's actually set to driver position 1. So once I unlock it, since I'm driver number 2, it's going to move to my preset positions. Yeah, you can kind of see the seat moving over there, right? Steering wheel already moved, and the glass moves as well. So let me get in. Okay, as you can see right there, my heated steering wheel is on. That is based on the outside temperature. Even if I had not turned this on by the time I left the car, it's going to start. And I'm going to do exactly what it's asking me to do. Push brake and then the start switch to drive. So foot and brake, then the start stop switch, and it turns on. So let's go to, this is what that's set to. Okay, that's set to max. I can't remember if I left it on at max or not, but I usually just like pushing auto. As you can see, it's directed to the front and the rear. So I'm going to do this. Push it on auto, and it's going to decide where it wants to push the vents. Did you hear it calm down considerably, right? And I'm going to leave the rear. Actually, let's turn it off, because I'd like to do this process again. It does whatever you had on audio, so right now I have it on Bluetooth. Let me turn the volume down and go to FM. So when I come back to it, that's exactly what it's going to be running. What else? Here, the heated and cooled seats. It's turned on to heat right now all the way. And let me turn it off. And then I'm going to repeat this process, the remote start, and then we'll see what happens once I do that. You'll notice here that, well, fuel level is whatever it is. The engine coolant hasn't really warmed up significantly because it just started the car. It does take time to get to the correct temperature range, operating temperature. And here, the heated steering wheel, oh, it's nice. It is on. I'm going to turn it off. And then you'll see what happens once I get into the, once I repeat the process again. Okay, so we got it, right? We already know what the setup is. So let me turn it off and get out. Okay. All right, we're gonna do the process again. This time I'm doing it from the front. Lock, hold down. So I'd like to explain one or two things. How to make it work and how to not make it work. If I let it run, the maximum amount of time I'd get is 10 minutes. That's what the factory allows. You can do it one more time if you decided to. You could turn it on again, do the remote start sequence again, and that will make it run for another 10 minutes. So if you time it properly, the maximum amount of time you can get remote start is 20 minutes, right? 10 minutes, then 10 minutes again. Right now, I can actually remote start it again, and if I did that, should I even bother to do it? It's just going to be 10 minutes that I hit the second time, and whatever time has elapsed right now. So maybe I started it, and 5 minutes later said, hey, I'm not sure if I did it or not. Let me just do it again. So it's going to give me a total of 15 minutes, but then it's going to stop. Once that has elapsed, I will not be able to remote start the vehicle again. Let me show that as an example. So hit the remote start again. Well, actually, it's going to be such a long time. Why bother? Okay. Second thing I'd like to tell you is that for whatever reason, if you decided not to let your car run, you could actually interrupt the remote start process. And that involves just holding this remote start button down. Watch. And that's it. Off it goes. As long as nothing goofy has happened, as long as that was not the second time, you can actually remote start the vehicle yet again. So let's do it. Lock and remote start. Okay, so now let's walk up to the vehicle and get in just like normal, and we'll see what features turned on, which features remained off. Okay, the seats and steering wheel do not move because they're now in my position because I'm driver number 2. And you'll notice that once again, the fan is blowing at max. It does not display it over here, but I do know what's happening. It's gone to the FM part of it, right? This one here, the heated seats, it's not on because this is a physical switch and I had not turned it on, so it left it exactly where it was. The next thing is that right here, the heated steering wheel turned on by itself. Remember, it turned it off right before getting out, right? But it turned off. So here we go. And we've already seen what I'm supposed to do. Push brake and then the start switch to drive. However, sometimes you might forget because you're coming in and it's loud in here and everything's running. And then you might be tempted to come in and at this point start shifting gears because you haven't paid attention and everything is lit up the way it should be, right? So I'm going to not push the brake and basically do it like I'm just driving off. There you go. It turns off immediately. So that's that's all it takes. Just basically pay attention to it. Thankfully, that's a security feature, right? People don't drive away without. In my mind, I mean, it seems like as long as someone has a key, they can drive off, right? But let's go ahead and do this. I was trying to demonstrate that the remote start would not work except for maximum 2 times. So that was the second time it ran, right? Because I turned it on, then off, then I turned it on again. Let's try it a third time. No. It doesn't like it. It's not going to work. The reason being, the car says, hey, I've already done my 2 remote start cycles. Why should I do it again? So to bypass that, that interlock, what you have to do is that you have to start the vehicle, start the engine at least once. So I'm going to turn it off. Basically, I'll say that, hey, I've driven around and everything has happened the way it's supposed to. Get out of the car. And then let's do the remote start the next day. See, now it doesn't mind. It doesn't mind at all. It's going to do it. And then I told you could kind of overlay in a remote start on top of a remote start, right? So it's run for what, 30 seconds, and then I remote start it again. There you go. Did you see the indicator turn on? That's my only indicator that, hey, we've gotten your request for another remote start, and now we'll give you another 10 minutes. So now I'd like to do an extra process to this. I'd like to get in without the key to see what the vehicle does. Unfortunately, the 2018 versions have this weird thing where the key blade does not, it will allow you to get in the car, but it's not full security. This might be a fail in the process. You know what? Let me do it the proper way first before introducing the key fob. And then what I'm going to do is try with a key fob. Or rather without the key fob. So what I wanted to do was unlock the vehicle and set the key off somewhere else. Leave it outside. And then get in and see if the car will allow me. It might notice that the key is missing, but I'd like to know, there you go. I'd like to know if it will allow me to start the vehicle. Push. Yeah, did you notice that? It did not allow me to do it because I do not have the key on me. So yeah, I guess that answers that security question, is that would the vehicle allow you to drive, or would it allow someone to break in and then drive off with your vehicle? The answer is no, it would not. Because I pulled the key out, if I can find it. What I was trying to do, the experiment I was thinking of doing, was unlocking the door with this blade and then getting in and then see if it would make a difference. Apparently the car doesn't like it, doesn't care for it. So what I'm going to do is get the key fob. I did not know how long this experiment was going to be, but I'd say I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it. I'm always curious about such things, you know. So we're going to run it again. Turn it off. To basically give me the allowance to get in there. The allowance is that, yes, he's not a stranger. We know who he is. And let's do the lock. Remote start again. Okay, good. So the other part I was talking about was this. If somebody did not even have the key fob, the first time I thought I would get a pass because at least I use a key fob to unlock the vehicle. This time let's use a key blade. I have a video on why the 2018 Murano is odd. Nice. It turned off immediately. Okay. Okay, cool. Wow. Yeah, there you go. That explains that the oddity with the Nissan Murano is that it will allow you to open the door with a metal blade, but it does not complete a handshake with the security system. It just physically allows you to get in. So you always need to have your key fob around for the 2018s. So there you go. There's the other process. In case you were curious, what would happen? Can someone break in? If you remote started your car, would someone be able to come by and basically drive off with your car? The answer is, unless they have your key fob or they have faked another key fob, they cannot drive off with it. So even if they pick the locks, as you can see, the alarm goes off and turns off immediately. And if you unlocked your vehicle, but then the key fob was not inside the vehicle, it's still going to turn off. It's not going to accept the button push. So pretty funky. Now, here's the other one. I did my first remote start. Will it allow me a second remote start, being that I've not really gotten into the vehicle? Let's see. Yep, I got my second remote start. I'm curious though, does that like erase it all and make it like 0? Let me go back here. I think it's easier to see the lights this way. So I'm going to do my second remote start, right? Lock. The answer is no. It only allows you one. It says, hey, we've only done one remote start, so that's all I can tell you. Okay, well, I hope you guys enjoyed the video as much as I did making it. I'm going to get in here, push my button. Watch. It went down for a little bit, you know? So I'm gonna force it down just a little. It's a little loud for the sake of making videos. And hey, all those numerous times I've done the remote start, as you can see, the engine coolant level temperature has risen up a little bit, and that's good. So my heated steering wheel is on and ready, nice and toasty. Here it was on heating the second time I did it. You can max it out if you'd like. And there you go. I mean, I suppose nothing else I can say about this really. The rear is on automatically, again, because of the temperature. And as you can see right there, 21 degrees. I can't remember if it does that from, is it 38? I can't remember exactly what that temperature is, but whenever the vehicle deems it cold enough, it starts doing all these preheating things for you. If I do get a chance, I'd love to come back here in the summer and do it for you. But as I said, all it does though, all the vehicle does is that it runs the blower, okay? So because of the heat, it's going to be warmer than outside, you know, than freezing temperature. So even if it's not heating it all the way at max at 90, that air just running over your windshield is decent enough to start the melting process and defrosting your glass. And then obviously this one here does it on the back glass. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I know this is a pretty lengthy video, but the video was as long as it needed to be for me to pass on the information I was trying to. All the best, stay safe, and enjoy the best of your Murano.